I have never been fishing before, but I would carry these fish bags literally anywhere and everywhere. They are adorable and they can hold your phone, your chapstick, your money, your wallet, whatever it is. You can start making this right at home. Just click the link in the description below, get yourself the pattern, and follow along with the tutorial. So for this project, you'll need woven fabric, specifically at least half a yard of printed fabric for the fish body, half a yard of solid fabric for the stripes and fins, and half a yard of lining fabric. This can be the same as your solid fabric. You'll also need an equal amount of lightweight fusible interfacing. Cut a strip that is 1.5 inches wide and as long as the full length of your solid fabric. This will be used to create the ties for your fish pouch. Fold the strip in half widthwise with the right sides together and sew using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Turn the strip right side out with a safety pin or a loop turner. Cut off 3-inch section and then divide the remaining strip in half. Our next step is to cut out our pattern pieces. So I start with the body. I cut 2 of the lining fabric, 2 of the printed fabric, and then I move on to the fins, which I will use the solid fabric to cut those out. Please remember, everything gets cut on a folded piece of fabric except for the inner facing. For the fins and the body, we only need one of those for each. And please don't forget to cut out 4 of the stripe pieces. I almost forgot to cut mine, but they do add a lot of depth and dimension to the final product. And you do not need to cut interfacing for the stripes. I'll spare you the horror of watching me cut the interfacing fabric. Here are the pieces that need it. The body pieces and all the fins. Only one side of each fin gets interfacing, and both main body pieces that were cut from the printed fabric get one of each. Oh, and I should have probably also mentioned that you need lightweight, fusible interfacing for this project. Moving on. And this is what it should look like after you have ironed on all your interfacing pieces. Now grab the 3-inch strip we cut earlier, line it up at the center of one of the body pieces like this, and give it a quick stitch to secure it. Before moving on, I like to transfer the notches from the pattern onto my fabric pieces so I know exactly where everything should go. The pattern does provide a placement guide for these pieces, so there's no need to guess. I'm simply positioning the stripes where they should go and securing them with a zigzag stitch. You can already see how much of a difference that makes. Now we'll line up all the fin pieces right sides together, leaving only the part that attaches to the body open. In the video, you'll see I've marked those spots with an X, meaning don't sew there. For the small fin labeled 3, leave this little section open. That's about an inch opening. Here is a quick review on how your final fin pieces should look like after you have stitched them down and left that opening that we talked about. I'm going to quickly trim all the pieces and remove that excess bulk so that when we turn the pieces right side out, they sit nice and flat. The next step is to use a pokey object. I'm just using my marker pencil and then just turning those pieces and just making sure all the edges poke out really well because it does matter what your final product will look like. And here we can already see that our fish is taking excellent shape. Next, we're going to pin the fins in place. It's a little tricky to explain, so just watch the video to see what I'm doing. I'm pointing the fins towards the inside of the body, pinning them along the curve, and then stitching them down. Make sure to use those markers as a guide to place those fins. And please take your time with this part, don't rush it. The more precise you are here, the better your final product will turn out. And this is what it should look like. I like to unfold all the pieces to make sure everything's stitched correctly. Feel free to pause here and check that yours looks similar. Now we'll attach the lining pieces to the 2 main body pieces. One piece has all the fins, stripes, and the loop, while the other has only the stripes. Just so you know, it should look like this When you fold it over, you should see both the lining and the main fabric. We'll top stitch right here so everything lays nice and flat. Pin all the fin pieces towards the inside so they're out of the way, then pin the two body pieces with the lining right sides together, just like in the video. Before you sew around the body piece, keep in mind to leave a 1-inch gap in the lining and a 1/2 inch gap on each side of the main body starting at the top stitch. The sewing instructions show you exactly where if you need a closer look. And as always, we are going to trim the entire body piece and remove the bulk so that when we turn the piece right side out, it sits nice and flat. So go ahead and use that 1-inch gap that we left in the lining to turn the whole thing right side out and then push that lining back inside. Once that's done, we'll top stitch 2 more times, once right along the edge and once about 1/2 inch in. This will create channels for the ties that we created earlier in the video. If the gap in your channel feels too small, just use a seam ripper or scissors to gently open it up. The final step is adding the ties. I'll use a safety pin to guide them in slowly. Make sure each tie goes in and comes out the same end, then repeat on the other side. Finish by tying a knot on each end so that they don't slip out. Just kidding. If you didn't add the style lines like the paper instructions tell you to do so, then you might want to go ahead and copy mine and then just stitch them on. And this is what your final product will look like, you guys. Look at that. That looks so pretty. And when you pull on those ties, it looks like an actual fish. There you have it, you guys. The possibilities are endless with this one, and you can make it as a gift for your dad, your mom, your brother, your sister. You can make it into all sorts of different themes, colors, whatever you want. I use mine to carry my snacks with me, of course, and treats for my dog. So go ahead and buy the pattern. Link is in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, and of course, follow me on Instagram at Ash Taylor Official. And I will see you guys in the next video.